What's up, sons? It's Blind Rod with Tech once again, and Nvidia has come out and stated that they want retailers to go ahead and stop selling their GPUs to miners. So let's go ahead and talk about why and how they're going to implement this right now. So in a recent post, Nvidia came out and stated that for Nvidia, gamers come first. All activities related to our GeForce product line are targeted at our main audience. To ensure that GeForce gamers continue to have good GeForce graphics card availability in the current situation, we recommend that our trading partners make the appropriate arrangements to meet gamers' needs as usual. So to implement this, their strategy is essentially going to be that their retailers go ahead and only sell 2 per household. Now they've started selling some of their graphics cards on their own store, and their partners such as EVGA have now started selling also directly through their website. I'm sure other partners will follow suit, such as PNY, but for companies like Asus and Gigabyte, who also make GPUs for AMD, I'm not quite sure how they will react to this. As far as the larger box retailers such as Newegg and Amazon, it's going to be pretty hard pressed for them to only sell 2. This is also because not just Amazon and Newegg are selling these cards on their websites. There are other third-party retailers that are selling through Newegg and Amazon. I think that Amazon has a better chance of getting this done because on Amazon's end, they've been selling their GPUs that are through their Prime service for pretty much maybe only a $50 increase in price, compared to where Newegg is selling some of theirs for much higher than that directly through their store. So I have more trust and faith that Amazon will follow suit as far as the big box retailers, but I'm not really quite sure that Newegg will, and that's going to present a problem. Now, why would Nvidia do this? Why would they kind of push off an entire consumer base as miners? Well, the reason is pretty simple actually, and that's that if you look at the gaming market, traditionally, gamers like to align themselves with something, whether that's a PlayStation versus Xbox, or AMD versus Intel, or AMD versus Nvidia. They pretty much align themselves with one of those companies, and then they only buy that product or their product. They're a much more radicalized fan base than say a miner is, who will pretty much just go in there and be like, give me anything that mines sweet cryptocurrency and I'm good to go. And that's why not just one type of GPU is sold out here, all of the GPUs are sold out here, and that demand is just because miners don't really care if you're Nvidia or AMD as long as you can get them some cryptocurrency. So because of that, it's pretty smart for Nvidia to go ahead and make this statement, because they're making friends in what they consider to be a long-term consumer base. Now, the part where they might be missing something here is, while everything is compared to the 2014 crash and then sale of all of the AMD GPUs to on the used market, that now we have Asics resistant cryptocurrencies. Because what happened back then is really, not only did the market crash a little bit, but you also had the fact that pretty much Bitcoin was unminable at that point with GPUs, and there wasn't really anything else worth mining that could make you any money. But now you have a ton of ASICs resistant options, and ASICs resistant options means that you are going to primarily be focused on GPUs, and these ASICs resistant coins are not going anywhere. And so, yeah, I don't think the cryptocurrency mining with GPUs is going anywhere as it is. Now, in the short term, increasing manufacturing to the point of supplying this increasing demand is going to be nigh impossible when they have to go through a whole bunch of different vendors and manufacturing facilities, and then sourcing tooling and additional manpower. This is something that they can't do overnight, so you guys need to, as miners with that argument, kind of keep that in mind. We can't do this, we can't solve this problem overnight. And so that's why they're trying to go ahead and limit the number of amount. Now, for marketing purposes, they're targeting gamers, but really, in all reality, this had to be done probably no matter what, no matter which consumer they're selling to, in order for them to kind of disperse across the entire consumer base. They're going to need to start limiting sales. We see this all the time with things like SNES, etc. And this also needs to be done because, believe it or not, the miners aren't the ones that are always buying all of them and shortening the supply. What you also have are scalpers that are going out there buying the cards at retail and then flipping them on Amazon, Newegg, and eBay, etc., and driving the price up because they know they can get it from miners. So as a miner myself, I do want to clarify something. Do not be paying over retail for GPUs. It's just, that's the bad part for the market that you need to keep in mind. And I don't support that as a miner either. Besides, your ROI is going to be so complete shit that you're not going to be able to make your money back in time for it to be worth it anyways, especially if you're paying what, $1,600 for a 1080 Ti? No, that's not a good plan. If you want to invest into cryptocurrency right now in the current GPU market, avoid mining. Go ahead and pick yourself up some stuff from the exchanges. Go ahead and build master nodes, maybe get into understanding that sector of cryptocurrency for now, and kind of just hold off on the GPU market and let it stabilize. For the gamers, I do want to say to you guys, we are gamers as well, most everybody in our Discord, and we mine on our gaming rigs and we mine on the GPUs we already had. A majority of us, we're what you would call hobbyist miners. At most, we have, you know, a few mining rigs sitting around and mining some cryptocurrencies. We are not quite the strain on the market as something like a Genesis mining farm is over there in Iceland. So please just keep that in mind before you go attacking everybody that's mining. Not everybody's the same here, and I think that's the point that keeps getting missed. Now, as far as my position on the large mining farms, well, I'm a proponent of decentralization, which means that what I support is the idea of the open blockchain, the public ledger, and the ability to verify the transactions across a large number of people. So for me, I think just idealistically that I would like to have a whole bunch of gamers with their GPUs mining cryptocurrency and broadening out and decentralizing that process even more. So I'm not actually a fan of large mining farms for this reason. And I did want to point that out because I think that it's very important to understand the basics of cryptocurrency and what the ideas behind it are and how that really translates into what's going on with this GPU shortage as well. So in conclusion, pretty much here, Nvidia is going to try to limit the retailers to only selling 2 GPUs per household, which is pretty much nigh impossible to regulate and will probably not happen. To solve it from the consumer perspective, we can go ahead and only order 1 or 2 GPUs at a time, but that's probably also not going to solve it because the people that are buying mass amounts of those will find a way to buy them no matter what. It's the legalizing drug problem, etc. No matter what you do, you can't really stop it. We can maybe stave it off, and maybe this is a process to that end. However, what I think it really is on Nvidia's part is a marketing ploy. I'm sure with the popularity of Jay's 2 cents most recent video, along with the kind of topic being at the top of Google search ranks, this was just a good move for them as far as getting their name out there and putting themselves on a side that has a more ravenous fan base. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you next Tuesday.